Do you know what character leaked yesterday? Okay, enough. Don't say Brian anymore.
At Combo Breaker, Michael Murray and Harada, they announced that Tekken 8 is entering a new phase.
So the CAT at Combo Breaker is last of the CAT tests that we had planned. So we'll be shifting to the new phase of Tekken 8.
The character reveals is very exciting, the alpha test very exciting, but we want to see more out of Tekken 8. We want to see a beta, a release date. We want to experience it for ourselves. So this new phase is very interesting and it has a lot of potential. But to properly understand what the new phase is, I think it's important to look at what happened in the old phase. First off, the most obvious thing is 15 characters is now revealed for Tekken 8. That is a lot. Street Fighter 6, I believe their starting roster is 18 or 22, so you can just see how Tekken 8 is already stacking up against that game. We have at least, I would say, 15 to 18 more characters to be revealed, but just looking at this 15, this is definitely a solid starting lineup so far. Also, with the past phase, you do have to take into account the closed alpha test. In the past phase, there was 5 of them. There was the content creator exclusive test, there was the Evo Japan alpha, there was mix-up alpha, PlayX4 alpha, and then the final one, which is Combo Breaker alpha. And the purpose of the alpha was to get feedback. And Harada, he said that the feedback that he received was overwhelmingly good. There was a Q&A that I talked about in the past video, but a section that I left out because I thought it wasn't important at the time. But I realized now that it's also important, and I'll just show you guys the screenshots here. But basically what these screenshots is saying is that this is Harada answering a question about what is the feedback on the alpha. And he's basically saying that it's good. It's super good. And he kind of made a joke saying that it's so good to where he feels like the fans are setting him up to like get some kind of payback. It's a funny joke. You guys can read it if you want to see. But the moral of the story, the feedback is good. Now, you do have some complaints about the backdash being nerfed. You do have some people worried about the easier electrical and godfist, DSS. You know, you do have that thought in the back of our minds. They're making a lot of attacks easier. How's that going to translate to balancing and also to skill gap, reducing it, barrier, all that stuff, right? But even when you keep those few complaints in mind, that doesn't really mean anything when you're trying to determine whether or not the game is good or fun, and that is the purpose of the alpha test. And so far with all 5 of these, it's done its job. Harada got feedback and it is good. So now this transitions us to the new phase. What is the new phase? What will happen? I already talked about all these events that's going to be leading us up until the end of the year. You have so many more events that's unannounced, that's being announced right now. Xbox Games Showcase just got announced. So there's many places for them to announce characters. What I want to see is another story trailer. The last one we saw when Jun Kazama was officially revealed was like 6 months ago. I think it's time to see another one. And also I would love if they can once again include some of these 15 characters in that. That could be another big part of this whole new phase that Tekken 8 is entering. But another part of the new phase is definitely going to be the beta. The tweet here from Harada, this is back on April 8th. This is responding to someone who says, "Weekend of Tekken 8 beta, I'm itching to play Lars, can't get enough of the gameplay and character reveal trailers." Harada says, "We are still doing close alpha testing at each event, so please wait for the beta." Once again, the alpha tests are now done. The beta is coming right up. Okay, so look, this is the timeline for what I think will happen. I think the Summer Games Fest will get another massive trailer. We will probably get some character reveals, some gameplay. Harada, also in this PlayX4 interview, he was talking about there's a lot of stuff that they still haven't revealed, tutorials and stuff like that. They'll do a lot of that stuff, really jam-pack it with the trailer. And then maybe at the end of that trailer, they'll announce a beta test, or maybe they'll announce something, and that leads us into Evo. And then at Evo, kind of the same way that Street Fighter 6 did. Street Fighter 6, they had their beta kind of coinciding with Evo. I could see Tekken 8 doing the same exact thing. That way you could give the players a little bit more information. You can explain a little bit more about the game, what's going to be happening, what's playable, what's not playable, maybe talk about some game modes, all of that stuff. But then after the beta test, and this is a strong prediction, in November and December, they'll do another Game Awards. You get another banger trailer, and then at the end of that trailer, you have a release date. So that's kind of what I'm expecting expecting out of Tekken 8 and this new phase that we're entering. I just want to make this video because they didn't really say much in Combo Breaker, but I think the path that we're walking on is pretty clear. It's obvious to see where Tekken 8 is heading, especially if you keep in mind that the game is supposed to be releasing next year.